The ability to love and be loved in return is one of God's greatest creations, but most women find it extremely difficult to choose a life partner. This isn't because there aren't good men. Rather, it's because it's getting harder and harder to distinguish between the good and the bad. To make matters worse, women are frequently advised to make sure they choose someone who is kind, caring, and will make a good husband. But what they aren't often taught are the kinds of men to avoid. Here are 7 types of men you should avoid when looking for a spouse. Number 1. The player is attractive and skilled at seducing you, but watch out. He's also a skilled manipulator. He's not really interested in you. Rather, he's drawn to the challenge of winning you over, and once he does, he'll move on to the next conquest. He's not searching for anything serious. He's just having fun. This is the guy who's constantly searching for the newest and greatest thing. He never seems to be satisfied with what he has and is constantly searching for something better. Usually the player acts in this way because he thinks too highly of himself. He views women as commodities rather than as real people deserving of love, and every woman is an item. Number 2, the commitment phobe is a man who possesses all the qualities you would want in a partner, but he is afraid of commitment. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, he's not the right person for you. He's not interested in settling down, and he'll find any excuse to end things quickly. He's a flake and a runner, and you will always be chasing after him. He is comfortable spending time with you, but he doesn't want anything that ties you two together. Men who struggle with commitment typically steer clear of talking about marriage. They prefer to keep you to themselves rather than going through with the legal process to legally keep you. This kind of man is known as a time waster. He will not commit to you and won't let you move on. Instead, he will drag you along for years, giving you the impression that he is finally ready to settle down, only to back out at the last minute, leaving you wondering where your relationship is headed. As a woman, you have to recognize that your time is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Never give more time to a man who has already squandering a significant amount of it. You must realize that the time you waste in an unsuitable relationship is time you could have spent with the right person. Number 3, the mama's boy. The mama's boy is a wonderful man who is overly reliant on his mother emotionally. He is excessively dependent on his mother and is unable to make choices without her consent. This kind of man is still emotionally reliant on his mother, and he also wants the woman he will marry to be just like her. Even if she is the greatest wife in the world, he won't take any counsel from her without his mother's final approval. A marriage that eventually ends because a guy is unable to tell between his mother's position and his wife's, a mama's boy, may act in this way in certain situations due to his mother's emotional manipulation. He believes he owes his mother a lifetime of emotional support and is therefore reluctant to make a bold move toward manhood. However, this does not mean you should enter a relationship where you will have to pay a high price. God had a good reason when he said a man must leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, who is number 4 in the Bible. 4, the control freak. This kind of man is all about control. He constantly wants to be in charge of everything in your life, including phone calls and meetings with family members. If he doesn't get his way, he turns the situation into a drama. This man doesn't control you because he wants to improve the relationship. Rather, he controls it because it makes him feel good and makes him feel like a man. That is, when he has a woman under his control. The problem with controlling men is that they only get worse over time. Living with a controlling man is like being in a lion's den. You never know what will happen next. Marrying such a man is equivalent to writing your happiness away. You may think to yourself, I'll just leave after. But keep in mind that leaving a controlling man is not always that simple. Never jeopardize your future happiness in search of a husband by dating a domineering man. The 5th is the narcissist. If you're ever thinking about getting married, a narcissist is one of the main kinds of men you should never get married to. A narcissistic person is self-centered. They have a high sense of self-importance and don't care about other people's feelings. They believe that the world is all about them. The word narcissistic simply means self-centered. Most narcissists struggle with low self-esteem. In other words, the only way they can improve their own feelings is to force you to submit to their authority, which is evident when you choose to avoid them. Narcissists are frequently very difficult to deal with because they can be demanding, manipulative, and self-centered. They frequently try to control their partner by demeaning or undermining them. They also frequently set traps for you to fall into, and then make you feel bad when you don't live up to their expectations. When interacting with a narcissistic individual, it's critical to maintain composure and reason. You should also establish boundaries and defend your own interests. You don't have to agree with them or make an effort to win them over. Simply stick to your own beliefs and values and don't let them control you. Remember, you are not a part of their reality, and you can leave at any time. Number 6, the cheater. When it comes to cheating, this is certainly a trait no woman should ignore. Cheating, or unfaithfulness as it's commonly called, is usually deeper than what can be seen on the surface. A serial cheater has no intention of being faithful to you, neither now nor in the nearest future. Getting married to him will not instantly change him overnight. As a woman, you should never think you are too strong to handle a man's unfaithfulness. Many men show their weak sides to help serve as a warning sign to you in advance. The purpose of a marriage is to live a happy life and not spend a great deal of it trying to put a man straight. Also remember, being married to an adulterous man equally makes you face the consequences of an adulterous woman. You might think you aren't in it, but you will have to deal with all the garbage he brings into your home, from lying about his whereabouts to explaining why he gave a total stranger a ride. This is not to say that an unfaithful man is incapable of changing. But if he refuses to change before you tie the knots, there's no chance he will change once you tie the knot. Number 7, the careless individual. Man who is irresponsible. While he may be entertaining, you don't want to spend the rest of your life with him. Instead, every woman wants to be with someone who is dependable and has a strong sense of morality. He's the one who can't seem to take control of his life, has little to no vision, and is constantly borrowing money from friends and family and never seems to be able to pay it back. Should you wed a careless man? Before choosing a man to settle down with, keep in mind that your future children and generation will be involved. You may never want someone who will set a bad example for you and your children. You only have so much energy for each day. Each of these types of men brings their own set of problems into a relationship that can be difficult, if not impossible, to overcome. If you are thinking about marrying any of these types of men, you should carefully consider whether or not you are prepared to deal with the challenges that come with them. Thank you for watching, and if you love our videos, please feel free to subscribe to our channel.